Hey, hello boys and girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on the SBI Clerk's 2018 exam score booster brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are in good health and your preparation is in high gear for this highly competitive SBI Clerk's examination, which is gonna be held after a gap of 1 year, right? The last time SBI Clerk's exam took place was in 2016. So yes, there's gonna be a huge competition and I'm sure all of you are mentally prepared for it, and you will make sure that you leave no stone unturned and give your best possible in the time that we have before you go for this preliminary examination, tentative schedule in the month of March 2018. Now this is the score booster number 3, where we are going to discuss on a very interesting concept, that is to find out approximate square root. Now we all know how to find out square root of a number. Like, what is square root of 100? It's 10. Square root of 3600, it's 60. Square root of 729, that's 27, right? Square root of 81 is 9. Square root of 676 is 26, and you are expected to know up to a certain numbers, right? Like, if you remember the score booster number 1, I had told you to learn 1 to 30 squares by heart. So it's obvious that if you know 1 to 30 squares by heart, you would know the reverse of it as well, right? The converse, meaning square roots of up to 900. But then the question that we are usually asked, or we come across many times in bank exams, especially in clerical exams where they test you on your numerical skills, is an approximate number. Like, what's the square root of 750? Now 750 is not a perfect square. 750, you all know, is not a perfect square. 729 is a perfect square. 750 isn't, right? Or what's the square root of 6000? Square root of 6000? Nobody knows. I mean, nobody knows as in we just can't say what the square root of 6000 is. It's not a perfect square. Square root of 4900, it's 70. Square root of 6400, it's 80. But square root of 6000? No. It should be between 70 and 80. Somewhere between 70 and 80, right? So what we are going to look at in the session today is how to deal with approximate square roots. How to find out approximate square roots. And I'm sure this technique will help you solve questions based on approximations much faster, right? We also have other stuff like approximate cube roots, and then a lot of simplification approximation based techniques which we'll learn on a daily basis as we continue to do these score boosters at 4 p.m. right? So without wasting a second anymore, let me quickly start talking about the approximate square root. But then before that, I have a question here from Shri Shail Bilagi. Do you complete all syllabus in this period? Well, Shri Shail, let me tell you, 1 month and just 15-20 minutes of conversation every day is not going to help you get ready for SBI Clerk's exam, right? Your exam is just a month away, let's say, or month and a half. So I had mentioned this on day 1 itself when we introduced the score booster, right? These sessions will only enhance your preparation and will boost your confidence, right? And eventually boost your score in the exam. But there's a real preparation required in terms of learning all the concepts, the techniques and the smart methods, and more importantly practicing as much as you can. Okay, so yeah, the answer to your question is I will not be able to complete all the syllabus in this period, but you definitely can complete all the syllabus and get ready for this exam in this limited time that we have, right? So all the best for your preparation. If you want to explore our online programs, you can visit our website, which is being highlighted here at the bottom of the screen, or call us on our number. Now let me quickly jump to the concept of approximate square root. Should we start? If you're all ready, we can look at the concept approximate square root. How do you deal with approximate square root? I see a lot of you have joined the chat. Thank you for joining us in this session. Any problems with the streaming has to be due to the connectivity at your end. I would request you all to refresh your page once, right? And if you can acknowledge that you're ready to start, I would take up the concept. Yeah? Okay, I've got a few confirmations here. So let me share my screen with you all and discuss this concept of approximate square root. Here we go. Right? So how to find out approximate square root, right? That's what we're gonna look at. Now, like I said, let's take an example, right? Approximate square root of 8,000 or 8,000 is simple. Approximately 8,000 is like close to 90. Let's say 6,000. square root of 6000. Now you very well know that this is not a perfect square, right? 6000 is not a perfect square. A perfect square will never end with odd number of zeros, right? It will have 2 zeros or 4 zeros or 6 zeros. It cannot have 3 zeros. A perfect square will not have 3 zeros. So what's the square root of 6000? Now how do we calculate this? See, one thing that we know is square root of 4900 is equal to 70. Square root of 6400 is equal to 80. So obviously, since the number 6000 lies between 4900 and 6400, its square root should be between 70 and 80. Right? The square root has to be between 70 and 80. Now, if there's only one option out of the 5 options given to us, if there's only one option which is in the range of 70 to 80, you can blindly mark that as the answer. You don't have to worry about any calculation here. But let's suppose there are multiple options between 70 and 80, or there are no options at all. You actually have to use this in some other question, right? It is a part of some other question. Then how do you solve this? Now, I could have taken square root of 8000 also, but you know that 8100 is 90. So 8000 will be very close to 90. We'll get approximately 90. So let's take up 6000. We'll take up a couple of examples. I have already got a few answers here. Around 77 to 78 is what Rathod and Shivaramakrishna have marked. Let's see what do we get here. So how do we go about it? What's the answer? See, I think first point that you all know is the range is 70 to 80. The answer will be between 70 and 80. Square root of 6000 is going to be between 70 and 80. How do you do this? Yeah, between 70 and 80. Now, how do you solve this? Simple. Think of the square, or think of a square which is, nearest to 6000. Think of some square which is not nearest, but as close as possible to 6000 that you can think of. What is a number which is a perfect square and as close as possible to 6000? A couple of examples are on the screen itself. 4900 is close to 6000. 6400 is also close to 6000. Well, you can say that way 75 square, which is 5625, is much closer to 6000. We can take that as well. You're able to follow. Square root of 5625 is 75, right? So that way you can say 5625 is also, nearer to 6000. We can take 5625 as well, but let's consider 4900. So what I'm taking 4900 as the base, right? Now you know that this question mark should be greater than 70. The value that comes in place of question mark should be greater than 70, right? Square root of 4900 is 70, so square root of 6000 will be greater than 70. So 70 plus something, question mark will be equal to 70 plus something, right? You have to add something to 70. What is that you will add is the question here. Simple. You have considered 4900 as the base, the number here, but the actual number is 6000. So what's the difference? Take the difference in the numerator. 6000 difference, 4900. Divided by twice of the number that you have considered here, divided by 2 into 70. That's it. This will give you the answer. You're able to follow 70 plus 6000 difference 4900 divided by 2 into 70. Now 6000 difference 4900 is how much? 1100. Yes or no? And 2 into 70 is 140. What is 1100 by 140? 1100 by 140. It is approximately 8. See, 14 into, what is 14 into 8? It is 112. Right? 14 into 8 is 112. So 140 into 8 will be 1120. This is 1100, very close to 8, roughly 8, approximately 8. Yes. So approximate square root is what? 70 plus 8, 78. 70 plus 8, it is approximately 78. So square root of 6000 is close to 78. Okay. Now, what happens if we take 5625? Nothing is wrong with taking 5625 as the base. What happens? Question mark still will be 75 plus something. You understand? I am considering 5625. I know that square root of 5625 is 75. Now the number given here is 6000. So obviously the answer should be more than 75. So 75 plus. What is that plus? Again, same. The difference of the given number with the number that you have considered. 6000 difference 5625. Divided by twice of this number. 2 into 75. You should get the same answer. I mean, similar answer. 78, close to 78, 78, 77, right? So 6000 difference 5625 is what? 375. Yes or no? 6000 difference 5625, 375. In fact, 75 goes 5 times here, right? 75 into 5 is 375. 5 by 2 is 2.5. So 75 plus 2.5. 75 plus 2.5. How much is that? 77.5. Yes, approximately 77.5. What happens if you, so we have dealt with 4900, we have taken 5625 as well. Taking 8100 makes no sense because this is not a very close number to 6000, but then 6400 can be considered. So what happens if you take 6400? This time the question mark, see, square root of 6400 is 80. So answer should be 80 minus something. Yes or no? The given number 6000, is less than 6400. The number 6000 less than 6400. So answer should be less than 80. So since it is less, you take minus 80 minus something. Only when you subtract something, you'll get a lesser value, right? So 80 minus something. Now what is that something? Again, take the given number and the difference. I mean, take the difference of the given number with the number that you have considered. 6000 difference, 6400. You don't have to write this. You know that 6000 difference, 6400 is 400. But then, yeah. I'm just, for the sake of explanation, I'm putting every step in detail here, right? You can avoid this. You can directly write 400 in numerator. Divided by what? Same. 2 into 80. Simplify now what happens. So 6000 difference 6004 is 400. 400. Now this goes again 5 times. 5 by 2 is 2.5. So 80 minus 2.5. 80 minus 2.5 this time. 77.5. Yes. Look at all the answers that we have got. 78, 77.5, 77.5. So this is how precise this technique is, right? It works really well. All you have to do is think of a number which is a perfect square and as close as possible to the number given to you there. Right? And taking that as a base, find out if it will be more or less. Take the difference of the two values in the numerator. Divide by twice of the number that you have considered in the first term. And you're done. As simple as that. Yeah, and I'm sure if you practice a few questions on this technique, you'll be able to get this really well, right? You can also consider 6084. Somebody says, why can't we take 6084? You can take 6084 also. 6084 is 78 square. For those who are not aware, it should be 78 square. Yeah, 78 square. How do you calculate 78 square? 100 minus 22. So 10,000 minus 4,400, 5,600 plus 484, 6084. Correct. 78 square is 6084. So if you take 6084, you'll get a much precise answer. In fact, you don't have to do anything. I mean, if you know that 6084, see, it's hard for us to recall that 6084 is a perfect square. If you know that 6084 is a perfect square, then there's hardly any difference between 6000 and 6084. And you can directly say the answer is 78. Yes or no? 6084 is 78 square. So 6000 also should be roughly about 78 square. So then you can directly say 78 is the answer. But will we be able to recall or will we be able to remember that 6084 is a perfect square and 78 square? No. Unlikely. Yeah. So go by this range: 4900, 6400, 8100, and so on. Okay. Should we take one more example? Let's find out the square root of 1,50,000. Let's say. Try that. Square root of 1,50,000. Let me share the screen again. I'll just clear this up. Yeah. So the question here is, what's the square root of 1,50,000? The range is important. You got to know which range does this fall into, right? So I'll leave you all with this for about a few seconds. Try this out. Square root of 1,50,000. Square root of 1,50,000. Remember, just because it has got even number of zeros does not mean that's a perfect square. It's not a perfect square, right? 1,50,000 is not a perfect square. It has got 4 zeros, even number of zeros, but that doesn't make it perfect square. So this also is an imperfect square. So obviously you'll have to find out an approximate answer. There are no options. Think of the range that it will fall into and then do the same calculation. Okay. And while you guys are solving it, let me take up some queries here. Monica Srivastava says, is there any chance of quadratic equation questions for SBI PO prelims? Definitely there is a chance. Now definitely there is a chance doesn't sound right, because on one side I'm saying definitely, the other side I'm saying chance. But the point that I'm trying to make is you never know. How would I know? Quadratic equations is a part of bank exam syllabus. We have been tested on quadratic equations in many bank exams in the past. But will it be asked in the SBI PO preliminary exam or not? I don't know. Should you prepare for quadratic equations? I know. Definitely yes, you have to prepare for quadratic equations. I can see answers coming in, but a variety of answers here. 4,400, 1225, 387. Somebody says 1200. Rathore has got 387.5. Sindhu says it should be close to 400. Right? 398. Parul Sharma has got 398. Dushyant has got 412. And some smart people here have just mentioned near to 400. So they are like, okay, playing a safe game, near to 400. So if the answer comes out to be 410, they'll say, yes, I was right. 410 is near to 400. If it comes out to be 390 also, they'll say, yes, I was right. 390 is close to 400. But I like those who have given a little precise answer, right? 387.5, 388. And Dushyant says 4,12,387.5. What are you trying to do? don't panic and don't worry if you're not able to solve this, right? This is a technique. You have learned it only for the first time today, most probably. I mean, if you are a TalentSprint student, you will probably know about it already because videos are available in your account. You can watch these videos whenever you want to. But those who are finding it new, those who have seen this for the first time, don't panic. You have to practice 5, 10, 15 questions to get that grip, and then you can work on the speed. Okay. So 388 is the most common response that I see here. Yeah, 388, 398, 387.5, 387. All right, so time is up. Let's take up this question quickly and close the session here. So 1,50,000. Now think of it. What numbers do you think will be in this range? Like 100 square. What is 100 square? 100 square is 10,000. Yes or no? 100 square is 10,000. What is 200 square? 40,000. Yes or no? 200 square is 40,000. How about 300 square? I mean, you don't have to write this. You just have to read out these numbers in your mind when you are thinking of the range, right? 300 square is 90,000. 400 square is 1,60,000. Simple, no? 4 square is 16. 2 zeros will become 4 zeros. 3 square is 9. 2 zeros become 4 zeros. 2 square is 4. These 2 zeros will become 4 zeros because you're squaring it, right? So 400 square is 1,60,000. 300 square is 90,000. Now clearly the number 1,50,000 is this range. 90,000 to 1,60,000. So answer should be between 300 to 400. Answer has to be between 300 and 400. Now if there is only one option which is between 300 and 400, you can mark that as the answer, right? But if there are multiple options, it will become complex. Moreover, you should also understand that this question mark, while we have understood that it will be less than 400 and it will be greater than 300, you should also understand that it is going to be closer to 400. The question mark will fall on the 400 side. Why is it so? If you observe, 1,50,000 is much closer to 1,60,000 when compared to 90,000. See, put it on a number line. No, this is 90,000. This is 100,000, 1 lakh. Then 1,10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. So this is 150,000, 1,50,000. This is 160,000. So if you observe 1,50,000, it's very close to 1,60,000 when compared to 90,000 here. So since the number is closer to 1,60,000, answer will be closer to 400. So that is also for sure. So just in case, if there are multiple options between 300 and 400, but then there is only one option which is closer to 400, take that as the answer. Why do you have to do the calculation? See, this is called smart work. Smart work is not finding out the square root and then saying yes, it is 387.5 or 387.5694 or 387.3297. You can be accurate up to 4 decimal places, but that's not smartness. Understand, you are short of time in exam, right? Time management is very, very important. You have to get the answers as quickly as possible. Smartness would be to understand the fact that the answer will be in the range of 300 to 400 and it will be closer to 400. These ideas should cross your mind the moment you look at the number, right? And avoid putting that on paper as much as possible. Okay. So if there's only one option, like for example, if I give you two options, 340 and 380, both 340 and 380 are between 300 and 400. But which has got a higher chance of being the answer? Of course 380, because it is closer to 400. No doubt about it, right? But again, if the answers are 395 and 397, does not mean that 397 should be marked as the answer. You understand my point? It cannot be less than 350. Answer should be more than 350 because it is very, very close to 400 this side. Anyway, let me now complete the calculation for you all, right? So what do? Go by the same process. Should we take 400 or 300? Let's take 400. Looks easier, right? So 400. Question mark will be equal to 400. Plus something or minus something? Minus something. You know that answer is less than 400, right? So 400 minus something. What is that something? 1,60,000 minus this 1,50,000. Divided by what? Divided by this 2 into 400. Done. This is 10,000. 1,60,000 minus 1,50,000 is 10,000. Right? Now, 10,000 divided by, or divide by 400 first, right? I mean, of course, zeros get cancelled here. 100 by 8. 100 by 2 into 4 is 8. What is 100 by 8? 12.5. 400 minus 12.5. 400 minus 12.5. 400 minus 12.5 is 387.5. Yes, so around 387.5. Answer is approximately 387.5. So this is how you evaluate approximate square root. Approximate square root. Well, there's one more concept, approximate cube root, which is not as easy as this one, but similar, somewhere similar. But we will deal with approximate cube root in some other score booster. That's all for the day today. I hope all of you have learnt this technique right? Understood the technique, and all you have to do now is practice a few questions so that you can apply it at the right time without missing out on anything there. Okay, so I think these are all such techniques that you'll have to learn. I mean, I will be able to cover only a handful of these through the score boosters that we have at 4 p.m. We'll have to close at 4:30, latest by 4:30 every day. But then you should not be waiting for these sessions to happen to complete your learning, right? You should learn independently at your own pace and at at your own comfort, right? So ensure that you get the right coaching. I'm not asking you to join TalentSprint. I'm asking you to ensure that you take the right coaching, right? Whether you want to join TalentSprint or some other institute is your choice, absolutely your choice. But the only thing that I would urge you all to do is start your preparation right away, right? Whether you do it through TalentSprint or some other platform or some classroom coaching center is your call. But start it right away, because the early you start, the better your chances, right? And there's no shortcut to success. Practice is the only shortcut. So keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. I'll meet you all in the next session, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. with the score booster number 4, probably on a topic of reasoning ability or English language, right? So see you all tomorrow. Let your friends know about these score boosters. Let them also join and make the most of these live sessions that we have. And yes, ask them also to start their practice right away. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get notified about these live sessions and the videos that we upload. Take a very good care of yourselves. I'll see you all tomorrow.